All right. Hello, everybody. This is the second senior roundtable discussing how the COVID-19 pandemic affected us graduating seniors and how it affected us getting internships and everything like that. I'm James Stucchio, and I'm here with 5 other classmates. If you guys would like to introduce yourselves.
Hi,
I'll go
I'm
first. Oh.
Go ahead,
Jonah.
Stefan.
All right, fine, I'll go. I'm Stefan Rosner, just graduated. Really want to go into sport journalism. Currently writing for a few sites, podcasting, all that fun stuff. But yeah, definitely sport journalism is the route I want to go.
And I'm Jonah. As many of you probably already know, I want to be president of a NASCAR facility one day. Still working towards that. Pandemic has certainly thrown a wrench in the plans for now, but just trying what I can for now.
Ben, you want to go?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ben Schnell. My career goals would be something running towards a stadium or arena. The way that the pandemic kind of affected me so far is my internship got kicked back. So now instead of graduating in the end of the summer, that's pushed back to the fall, pending that we go back to school and everything like that, and that internship stays on.
I'm Tiffany Shapira. Right now I'm working at the First Tee program as the girls golf coordinator over there. Thankfully, we got to start about 3 weeks ago, so that's really good. So now we're just on the golf course every day. I'm glad I get to play golf like 5 days a week, which is nice. And right now I'm just really focusing on becoming some kind of golf tournament operator. So hopefully I can get on some kind of tour soon and make some good connections, and that's just what I'm hoping for.
And I'm Emily DiFilippo. I actually lost 4 jobs because of Corona, but I am currently going to get my master's degree, because why not? I got nothing else to do.
Perfect. So if we're going to talk about this, let's go back to the beginning. Obviously, it was around spring break that we were kind of waiting for the news, what was going to happen with the rest of the semester. So how did everyone feel when you realized, or when you were told that we were transitioning to online classes? And for most of us, we're never going to go back to Cortland again and get to see our friends and enjoy those last few weeks we would have had.
It was kind of weird for me, at least, because like I like being in a classroom. I like seeing all my fellow classmates. I'm such a visual learner. So, you know, we had a lot of classes together, especially like Dr. Voris, like we'd be in his classroom. He likes to like say, like he likes to paint pictures on the, you know what I mean? He like writes things out on the board and he makes things really clear. He puts real life scenarios out there. So it's hard for me to like read a textbook and connect it to life. And I just like being there in person. And it was weird not being around you guys, because I love being around you guys. And that's something that I'm really going to miss, is just being on campus. But
Anybody else?
More for me, when it all was in the speculation of what was going on, it was kind of a weird point, because not knowing with like working in the arena, stuff like that, and what we were going to be doing, we actually got designated as essential. I don't know. So we got to still work and everything, which was pretty cool. It was a ghost town though after everybody left. I think there was 4 of us total out of the staff, and 2 were already supposed to be there. So there was only 1 other kid that hung around, but it was kind of a lot different not having everybody around there, and still having to work and stuff like that.
For me, it was a little different. The fact that I didn't think I was coming back this semester, because I thought I landed an internship with the New York Islanders, but it sort of fell through. So I had made peace with not coming back. Then, you know, I get to come back. It's all great. Obviously, it sucks that we're not get to be there, but I think for me, at least, I had made peace with not coming back. So I don't think it hit me as hard, but it's still a shock. I mean, my internship was cut short. Miss all the friends and everything like that. So definitely, it still sucks.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It seemed really surreal. I think that's a good word to describe it all. Even being there for the last day of strategic, not really knowing, and then it seemed like in the hours after that, or even that day overall, was a real turning point during everything, because that's when the NCAA was coming out with, they either canceled March Madness or they made huge changes that day. The AHL suspended their season that day. And I know that all the professors and everyone on campus, students included, were just wondering what was going to happen with us having to leave to go home for break literally then, not knowing if we're coming back. And I mean, me living off campus, I didn't know, am I going to be back for the rest of my lease or what? And then ended up, after everything, had to just go and move out months early. So it was really surreal.
Yeah, like you said, surreal. A couple of you guys touched on. That's almost the perfect word. Bizarre is something that people have been saying. And it's such a unique experience for us that we're graduating in this semester. So I know a lot of you have already touched on it, but does anybody have anything to add on what it was like searching for internships? Because obviously that's something we're required to do to graduate. And like Jonah just said, around mid-March, all these leagues were getting canceled or delayed, suspended. So that hurt us. All these people are competing for the same internships, and there's a significantly reduced amount of internships. So how was finding an internship for everybody?
I think with Teamwork Online, it was very overwhelming at first. You have to find one quickly. Well, to me, it was like, you got to find one quickly. It's the last semester. You got to find one or you're in a lot of trouble. But Teamwork Online, the teachers really made it, a calming experience, especially like Teamwork Online was great. I mean, you could apply to internships left and right. I was hearing from 3 to 4 a week to talk to them, even the ones I came to talk to at school, like the Cortland Crush. Just definitely a lot more opportunities than I would expect. So it was definitely a lot easier given the fact that the teachers helped out a lot and really gave us an opportunity, especially with working on our resumes, cover letters, our email ability, like, the way we format them. It definitely was a lot easier than it seemed like it was going to be.
Obviously Ben had that situation where he had his internship and that got pushed back. So I know it's unfortunate, but that's not it's not unique to Ben that you find this internship and you're preparing to graduate and then that gets pushed back a whole nother semester. Does anybody else want to talk about what it was like finding an internship if you could?
Yeah, I actually had my internship set up. I got accepted in January, so I thought it was going to be a really smooth semester. Especially going to pre-internship, already having the internship, just counted myself as lucky. And then when everything was hitting the wall, like it all happened at once. Mine was at Watkins Glen Raceway, and I still, in the back of my mind, I was like, if there is a sport to come back early, it would probably be NASCAR. And it turns out they did come back first, well, right along with golf. But throughout the whole process, they kept telling me that it was good. I still had the internship. And then it's like, as the whole world's changing, it's like, how do I still have it? And then I even went down, I found an apartment, I signed a lease, and then literally that week I got a call from the racetrack, and they said that it came from not even like their management, it came from NASCAR, that they couldn't have any interns and they had to lay off. But thankfully I got out of that lease and I was able to pivot to more of a research-based internship for the summer on how COVID-19 has impacted motorsports overall. And a lot of the tracks that I've reached out to, they're going to get the results of this, and at least I've been able to do something make sense of this time.
Yeah, Jonah, I totally feel you on that, because golf, like, as we know, came back a little bit quicker than all the other sports. And so me being in the golf industry, it's weird because now when the kids come in every morning, we have to take their temperatures with like one of those scanning thermometers. Like, everyone's wearing a mask and we can't have the kids in the golf carts anymore. It's so weird to me. But I'm glad that at least like my internship kind of held up. But they also said, like, we're not taking any interns. Like, you already have your position secured. So I was like, thank goodness, you know what I mean? But it's weird that the sports now are evolving in a way that we're all trying to figure it out at the same time and how to make it kind of follow these guidelines that we're now stuck with. So it's just interesting to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, for me, I had so like I think we discussed this right before we actually started recording. I'm going back to do my master's in the fall. So I was struggling to find an internship, and obviously you can't go and start your master's before you finish your bachelor. So I'm fortunate that Boris and Brady were able to come up with a plan for a few of us students that were planning to go do our master's in the fall. And so I've been working with the sport management department. But if not, I mean, I would have been in the same boat as a lot of people, just struggling to find an internship, doing every day reaching out to new locations and hoping something finally hit. But thankfully, like I said, Boris and Brady were able to come up with something for us that we're really kind of on a time crunch with going to the starting our masters in the fall. So now, kind of shifting away from internships and going back to our experience at Cortland. You worked for 4 years, and then you want to walk across that stage for graduation. How did it feel when you found out that we weren't going to walk across stage, at least this summer?
It was more, I work in the arena where we have graduation. So every day that we clean, I always walk past that stage, and I heard everybody else from working there like, oh, this is the stage that we set up for graduation each year, and this is what we do. And then it was just like a reminder. It was like, it hit me earlier that, all right, like, this is not happening. There's nobody else here anymore. But seeing it every day kind of thing, it just kind of sucked. It was like, oh, okay. I was actually kind of looking forward to setting it up, seeing how it actually got done for spring fling and everything like that too. We set it up, but after that, it wasn't a nice thing. It wasn't a nice way to end our year, especially for the ones that we didn't get to say goodbye to the last final peoples or whatever. But other than that, that's kind of where it hit me.
Anybody else want to talk on that, not being able to walk across the stage?
Yeah, I think it's kind of weird because I know a lot of people also, like, you have to reserve your hotel room in Cortland like a year before your actual graduation. So my dad is like on the phone with me. He's like, are you kidding me? We have to put this deposit down. I wanted to get the room, blah, blah, blah. He's like, all this money. And I felt really bad. And I know that some people are still doing like their pictures at home and they put on their gown and everything. And I think that's really cool. But it kind of sucks, not being able to just be there with everyone and having those nerves before you walk on stage. Like, I hope I don't trip. Like, I'm craving those nerves right now. You know what I mean? I would have killed for that, but it is what it is.
My parents said the same thing. They booked literally, I want to say it was like September or October, and they price gouged the room so much that it was like $250 for a night at like the Quality Inn. It's like, goodness, you go and buy a hotel in Cortland or any college town and you'll make your money there. But just to not walk across the stage just feels it feels weird. Like it hasn't set in really, if that's possible, just because it still feels like you're going through the process of being a college student, and that's how it culminates as you walk across and you just see, oh my gosh, it's over. Haven't had that moment yet. So I know if they do end up having the opportunity to walk next spring, I definitely would be interested in that, just because that'll really pull everything together, and that's a really big moment of even high school or college, is just walking across stage.
Yeah, and then we could use that to transition into my next question. Like you said, it hasn't really hit you yet, and that goes back to this whole situation just being super surreal. Have you guys thought about what life is going to look like after we're kind of over this hump?
I mean, for me, trying to get back as a referee, semi-pro, and professional soccer, trying to get back into this, it's slim pickings. Like, some of my friends couldn't work because they haven't got their test results back. So some games aren't even being played with like full crews. And even like us trying to get back into the National League and everything like that for work, you have to be diligent. You can't be around people. If you're seeing around people closer than 6 feet and not wearing a mask, you're immediately right off the list. No more games, no more nothing. So it's really up to everybody. They're trying to scare, I guess, for the soccer community more. Everybody do your part, wear your mask, everything like that. And I think that's what it's going to change into. Because without wearing them, I guess it's not going to flatten it or whatever they're trying to do. And that's what they're trying to drill into us as referees and professionals, is just wear your mask, stay away from people, don't be going out on Friday nights or anything like that. You got to stay in and everything. They just want to make sure everybody's staying safe. So that's from my other work. So it's already starting to develop into like a standard now in the workforce where I'm at.
Yeah, now so some of us, like, you know, in any sports business and any business at all, we're now going to all have to think about, like, okay, this might work how we want it to look, but how can we make it safe? How is it going to be safe? Because I know attendance is going to drop at first, like, because people are not comfortable yet. Like, we had like half the signups that we usually get because parents are like, I don't feel comfortable with sending my kid with you guys yet because of like everyone that's going, you know what I mean? Attendance is going to be dropping a lot, which is crazy. And we're just going to have to think, like, how can we make this safe for everyone to be comfortable and actually show up?
Yeah, for sure. I like that you said that, because it's not, I mean, once we get the okay as people in the sport industry to everything's back to normal, let's bring all these fans in. It's not going to be like that, because like you said, people aren't going to feel safe a year from now. For however long, people are really going to be more conscious of what it's going to be like inside stadiums.
And going off that point, Jay, just the feasibility. If you bring in even 25% crowds, you're still going to have to manage some way to do a mass cleaning and everything like that before you let in the next capped at 25% or whatever like that. Stadiums, arenas, even anything, public gathering places, anything inside sport. There's going to be like a whole new set of grounds crew. It's going to be a Corona crew basically. And they're just going to be out there cleaning because it just has to be done over and over again. Just so, going back to the other thing, people feel that safeness. People feel like they want to come out, spend their money in your arena or stuff like that. And it's going to take time until people are really comfortable doing that.
Luckily for me right now, the work I'm doing, it could all be done from home. So thankfully I don't really have to worry about going out. And obviously, as sport fans, though, which we all are, we want to go see games and stuff. And for me, I'm a big Islander fan, and the Islanders are heading back to Nassau Coliseum, which is like 10 minutes from my house. Planning to go to a ton of games. Still hoping to allow fans, but at the end of the day, it's like, is it worth it? And obviously, the answer is no.
I know for me, so my next question is, well, Voris is, I know we're all familiar with Dr. Voris. As these weeks were leading up to, unfortunately not us heading back the last 2 or so weeks before we left, he was telling us, and other professors have said it, the people who are going to do the most with their time away and in this kind of downtime where people couldn't work and all those things, the people that are setting themselves up for the future are going to have the most success in the future. So I've been reading, and I want to ask, what has this taught everyone? Because for me, I know I've learned to be more patient because we're not getting these immediate results and we're not face to face like we want to be. And I've just learned to appreciate things more, like simply going to class at 2:30 and seeing all your classmates and being able to interact with your professors on a more personal basis, because it's certainly not the same on Zoom. So I just learned kind of to value the little things like that. What does everybody else learn from this?
I've also learned patience, which has been a big thing for me growing up. Personally, when this semester ended, I was really excited to go out on internship and then be done with schooling and then just build that network and keep going from there. And anybody who knows me knows that I wanted to be done with schooling and not have to worry about grad school or anything. But with this time, I actually applied to grad school, and ironically, I found out today I am going back to Cortland virtually this fall for grad school. I know that a couple of you had already mentioned that, but just it teaches you to think outside the box, and that's really why I applied. If I can't build the network that I had planned to build during this time, then I have to make myself a better candidate because everybody else is going to. Dr. Boris always said that the applications go up during times of economic hardship. Well, that's certainly how you could describe what's going on now. So just trying to be open to new ideas, accepting that it's not all going to be solved in one day, and overall just being patient.
So to piggyback up what Jonah just said, you have all this downtime to make yourself a better candidate. Obviously, we're all in the same boat. So for me, I was thinking about going back for my master's. I decided not to. I took a hockey scouting course instead, and I passed my final. So I'm now certified to scout hockey, which for me, I don't know if that's what I want to do, but definitely for sport journalism, I think it could give me an edge. But also, it's just we got dealt a really bad hand. But if you just sit back and relax and just wait, Oops, drop the phone. You're not really gonna, it doesn't look right. If you're just sitting around doing nothing and just waiting for jobs to open up, that's great and all, but then, someone else is going to apply to that job that's working their butt off. Networking, Jonah made a huge point with that. I mean, I've been doing LinkedIn, Twitter. I've been trying to get as big as possible on Twitter and reach out to people. And I've talked to a lot of people in the industry through that, just by reaching out and saying, hey, my name's Stephen Ross. I went to Cortland. My semester was cut short, blah, blah. I'm looking for insight. And you don't really know how many people are willing to talk to you. It doesn't have to be a Cortland alumni or anything like that, but just taking the time to do that. Because in the end, you never know, they'll find a job for you, or they'll say, hey, came across this job. Do you think you'd be a good fit? Do you want to apply? All that stuff. So if you don't reach out, you'll never find out.
Yeah, I learned a lot also. Like Jonah said earlier, I was TAing for Voris and George, and I had a job with Syracuse University, and I was sitting in strategic when the AHL officially canceled their season, and I had a job. Like, I had a full-time job with the Syracuse Crunch. I'm like, I have my life figured out. I have I have 2 jobs in sport. I'm being a TA. This is great. This is awesome. And I literally lost like 4 sport-related jobs in the course of a couple days. So I was like, I don't know what to do with my life. Like, I have no clue. So
Yep.
instead of okay, I freaked out a little bit, but after that, I started working at a nursing home because I thought this was a good time to like maybe try and help. And I broadened my horizons a lot because that is something I never thought I would do ever. And I was actually working so much that I paid off all my current college debt. So I am debt free. So that's what I've been doing with my free time.
That's awesome. And that, so as I mentioned earlier, Ariana Judge actually did a roundtable already on this topic, and she did a really good job of, her last question was, and it's what I want to leave everybody with, since this has all kind of been, not the most happy talk. Obviously, we're talking about the things that greatly affected us for the most part in a negative fashion. So I want to know, does everyone want to discuss maybe your favorite Cortland memories, what you're going to miss about Cortland if you're not going back? Just stuff like that. And I know it's not easy to talk about your favorite Cortland memory right away, but if everybody wants to kind of leave on a happy note, that'd be nice.
For me, I'll keep it PG because.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Ben, I definitely know a few memories of yours that you don't remember. But yeah.
Thanks, Steph. But so with that, being within the sport management department and everything, I'm so happy I was not an exercise science major. That's what I originally went in for. I'm happy that within the first week I transferred right into sport management. It's the best thing I probably ever did. And overall, just the way that the professors kind of taught you from the beginning, it was not anything like, oh, this is your freshman intro course. No, I was in Professor Han intro course, and he was my core teacher too. So that man drilled every little bit of knowledge into me, just in presentations. And now I'm so grateful for that because over the 4 years there, just presentations is a key in the sports industry and being able to talk to people. And the overall just knowing the information and them taking it so seriously, not just as like, oh, these are your junior and senior courses, this is what matters more. No, it was from the beginning and everything like that. And we just have a really good staff overall that if somebody wasn't in the office and you needed to talk to them, you could always pop to one of your other professors' doors. And that's something that I would always be grateful, or that's one of the best memories, just being able to always do something or get help there from our staff.
Yeah, I think that when we came in, as freshmen and going throughout the years, like we had these professors that were great to us. And, after graduating, we leave with them as friends. You know what I mean? We were able to go to them and talk to them about things that expanded beyond the sports industry. You know what I mean? Talk to them about our days and what's happening in our lives. And they genuinely cared. And sometimes with a bigger school like any other school that's huge, you don't get that personal connection. But that's what I love about Cortland. You could go into Boris's office, you could go into Benio's office, and just talk about your day and just talk about what's going on in their lives and stuff. And that's nice because then you have kind of like a friend, and it's like a friendly feeling that makes you just feel good.
Speaking of core class with Han, Ben, this is probably, I guess, a great memory I definitely learned from is we're in the first day of class, and Han goes, okay, what major are you guys? And, I raise my hand, I'm confident as always, and I go, sports management. And the look I got, day one.
I thought you were going to be done after that one, Steph. I thought you were going to transfer out and everything.
Anyway, I was scared. And then I realized from that point on, the attention to detail, how big it is. And especially with me now in sports journalism, where I'm editing articles every single day to release, writing articles myself, even podcasting, the little things in this industry separates you, but also could make or break you. I mean, we've all made mistakes. I made a mistake on social media about one of my articles I wrote. I used the wrong words that I probably shouldn't have. It offended someone, created this whole controversy. I learned from it, but at the same time, day one, I knew, okay, sport, this is how it's going to be. There's a high standard for us. It wasn't going to be a joke just because we like sports, because Han said, you guys are all probably here because you like sports, which was the truth. I didn't really know anything about sport management, but definitely day one, I realized, okay, this is a legit professional thing. Pay attention to details, and that's something I'll never forget.
I guess I'll do a professional and then just not as professional. The not as professional would definitely be at Dollar Draft singing karaoke with just countless friends up there. And if you know, because we had the whole place singing. It was just, those are the memories that are going to stick with you. But really, my professional memory that is always going to be with me is putting on the Lose the Shoe soccer tournament my senior year, after seeing the event literally be on the verge of not ever happening again in Cortland. Branching out to the community, having kids show up, seeing how much fun they're having actual college students on a night just show up and actually be competitive and want to play and want to not just be in their dorms or be out at the bars. It was just a real great moment to get to see what event management really can be when you do everything well. So there's a little of both worlds.
Joan, I'm so proud of you, but I'm mad you didn't give me a shout out for being your karaoke buddy.
Always there, always willing to sing after me asking like 8 or 9 times.
But other than karaoke, I mean, I gotta agree with everybody on how awesome the sport management staff is. I could talk to Boris in his office, walk down, wave hi to Biren, walk down a little more, say hi to George. And I actually remember it was finals week, and I'm not very good at hiding my stress. So Professor Dodds is like, Emily, come here. So,
Are we having trouble here, or is that just me?
Technical difficulties.
He's really stressed.
I think he's frozen. What else you got for us, Jay?
That was it. I was hoping to leave on a positive note, but I mean, I think technical difficulties.
If that's not 2020 to end it, I mean,
exactly.
I
think that's it. I think that wraps
so
up.
we'll get an internship now at Zoom. It's in their IT department. Everybody can go there and learn how to fix something. I think she's coming back.
I hear something.
She's trying.
Well,
I guess not. I think like Stefan said, that's the best way to wrap up a meeting like this where we're discussing all the difficulties this year.
at least that never happened in one of my actual classes during the semester.
Yeah, right.
Out of the 7 I had to take, only one of them had to be on Zoom.
That's a bit fortunate.
That's a bit fortunate.
All right, guys, we're running out of time here. I know Zoom's only going to give us about 40 minutes. So I just want to thank you guys for your time. And I hope to see all of us succeeding after everything we had to go through this year.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Jay.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you, guys.